Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, everyone. What is going on? James here, and today I'm with the one, the only TGC, the gaming channel himself, Liam.
Hello there.
So, as you can tell by the title today, we are reviewing the original Halo trilogy. There was a review of every Halo game. I think it was like the bloody 15th. Oh, here we go. Hello. Oh, for God's. Hello.
Hello,
Yeah.
Aaron.
I can't believe I read it like that. Yeah, but hello. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I think it was like the 15th or 16th or 17th podcast. But to be honest, like, if you go and watch that back, I filmed it on my DSLR Canon 700D, and it just sounded horrendous. And me and the guy who I did it with, his name is Jack. He not the Jack you're thinking of, not the.
Okay.
He's what I shouldn't have done. Not rewind. Basically, not the Jack you know. It's some different Jack. If you watch it, he's like a guy from but he sounds like a guy from Oxford. Well, I think he's from Oxford. I knew him on Xbox years ago. Cool guy, but I did the podcast with him, and it just sounded rewind the telly. I'm gonna rewind the telly. Suffer wind succotash. So, no. Get Liam to react to the messages in Messenger. 2-hour pod of that. Would you be up for that, Liam? Reacting to every single message and getting the channel banned?
I was going to say, yeah, that would be interesting with some of the messages that are in there. That would be. I mean, it's a fun idea, but it's just we wouldn't be able to react to all of them. It just wouldn't be able to do it on the podcast. Unfortunately, it's not for the public.
Yeah, too many edgy jokes, too much madness,
Inside jokes. Yep.
Inside jokes, too much politics.
Yeah.
And I mean, even before we get to all that, the George's first few photos would just get the stream taken down. The things that he posts in there, bloody hell, ridiculous stuff.
Yeah, that's for sure.
But anyway, yeah, the original review I did of it, there was too many games in one that we tried to review. We just tried to review every Halo game, and the quality of it wasn't very good. So that's why I'm here today, well over 100 episodes later, with Liam to review it. And obviously, it's a good time for you to just review these 3 games as well, as you played the campaigns and the multiplayers for them, recently finishing the Halo 3 campaign.
Indeed, yes. So that's the original trilogy's done.
Done and dusted. But yeah, we'll start off with Halo CE. Halo CE starts off with this big ass ship called the Pillar of Autumn, and you got this enemy coming after you, and you're like, shit, what's going on? What's happening? You come out of this cryotube at first, and you're like, oh, all right, what's going on? You get given a tutorial level from these guys. Straight away, you're not just thrown into the action like you are in Mario and Sonic and other games, you know. It feels very, very gradual. Like, you know, you get out, you do the tutorial and all this jazz. You don't have a weapon at first. You start walking out you see what the Covenant do at first, right? You start walking out the room in the Pillar of Autumn, and then you see, you can't interact or do anything. You just see grunts and elites fight, and you see the different enemies that the game's preparing you for, and there's explosions and all this crap, all these battles. Then you get to the bridge, and you meet good old Captain Keyes, and he's like, here you go, son, here's my here's a pistol, yeah, and keep Cortana safe. If the Covenant gets their hands on her, we are in big trouble. Everything goes to them. So there's a consequence for getting killed by the Covenant. If Master Chief dies, the Covenant have everything on humanity, and it's game over. It's all on your shoulders.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that? The first part of that mission, then?
it's a good start. Yeah, like you say, you're not uh, you don't get thrown right into the action, but yeah, things get set up down now. I mean, I suppose the start is. I mean, even though it's setting things up, it's it sort of almost feels like at the same time that there's maybe there is a backstory to be told here, which of course happens in Reach, which I haven't played yet, but looking forward to that one. Uh, but yeah, like I say, it's an interesting premise, good setup, and then is it after you talk to Cortana and Keys that you is that when they invade the ship?
No, they've already invaded the ship because you're
Oh yeah.
walking through the corridors and you can see grunts and marines fighting, and one of
Ah.
the dudes who gets you out the cryo tube gets blown up. So
Oh, okay. Yeah. But yeah, I was going to say, with them invading the ship, it's sort of like a callback to the original Star Wars, A New Hope,
oh
where
yeah,
they,
yeah.
where they, the stormtroopers and Vader,
All the
invade,
banging and smashing and shooting.
invade the Rebel blockade runner, and yeah, so
Except you don't actually see the Covenant ship, but you can
mm,
imagine that the UNSC
mm,
ship does just look like something that humans would have built.
yeah,
While the Covenant ship, it looks very advanced and it gets humanity's back up against the wall. What I like about the house Halo C set up as well is how like it is just a pillar of autumn against the Covenant who are coming after you. There's you're in deep space as well. It's not like you can you can contact Earth and all the reinforcements show up. But yeah, straight once you leave the room, you're not just like bombarded with hunters, jackal snipers, elites, grunts, etc., etc. At first, you get a few grunts, the weaker ones, and then the weaker enemies who are just cannon fodder. Then you get the elites who are sort of like your equal. They've got their own body shields, like you have your Spartan shields. They've got their own body shields, and the game helps you strategize as well because like only in Halo CE and Halo Reach do you have the like you have the little dots of health at the bottom. You don't just have your Spartan shield. So the dots of health, do you know what I mean by that? Like the how you get a health pack and get like your health beneath your shield up, or
um, what you mean those health packs? Yeah, that you can pick up in certain parts of a level. Is it?
yeah, because like
Mm,
below your Spartan shields, you have like bits of health, and if you get shot once your shields are down, it shows you like, oh, okay, I need to get a health pack and get my life back up. Or if you've got full shield, you can be like, shit, I can go in guns blazing more. Or if you've only got like one dot of health below your Spartan shields, you're like, shit, if they get rid of my Spartan shields, I'm toast straight away. So I better find a health pack straight away. Which is really cool because
mm,
every other Halo game apart from that one and Reach, it's just a Spartan shield, then you're dead, which I think is better for multiplayer, but with campaign, I think it's more fun and makes it more strategical. Where in multiplayer, it's cool because you get rid of the shields and then you just pop them in the head and they're dead.
mhm,
But yeah, Chief fights through the Covenant and then you end up on a big ass ring and you're like, shit, this is beautiful. And straight away you go from a corridor mission to like this big wide open space, greenery, futuristic bases built by the Forerunners. And you have to go around trying to help Marines and there's like, you go into like that big Forerunner structure and then you have to press the button and go across the bridge. I just like how you go from a corridor mission to just like insane, massive, wide open spaces.
mm. That is cool, yeah. And I was going to say at the start, was Chief had Chief been, I don't know, in hibernation for years, or
I don't think he was in hibernation for years. Just probably just like I mean, he could have been. Actually, I'm going to look that up because I've never known how long he was in hibernation for.
Mhm.
Let's have a look. Alright. How long was Master Chief in cryosleep before Halo Reach? It says on here, in Halo C, when you start the game, John gets out of cryosleep. I never thought anything of this at the time, but the other day I was watching the cutscenes, and there was John in cryosleep. Where does it say? Currently, there's an inconsistency. So it just goes on about extra lore and books and all that jazz. John entered cryosleep at the end from Reach to Installation 04. There was a bit of time, it's standard procedure for most of the crew to enter cryosleep while in space. But he was on, bloody hell, he was the Pillar of Autumn. Basically, I don't mean to. Basically, while the Pillar of Autumn was on Reach before it flew off, he was already in cryo. Basically, there's a way that it can show you that he was in cryosleep. I won't spoil anything, but it's something extra that you have to do, and there's a way that you see that he's in cryosleep. So he was in cryosleep while it was on the ground, unless before it flew off, he just said, "I'm hopping into cryosleep" as soon as it flew off, which would be a bit odd. But I guess it is standard procedure in Halo, because in Halo Wars, at the end of Halo Wars, I don't mind spoiling it for you because you're not going to play those games. Are you alright if I spoil it, or?
Yeah.
Basically, like, they will just go in cryosleep at the end, every single one of them. So it is just sort of standard procedure. And I think they were just saving Chief because he's the last Spartan in the original Halo trilogy. So you can imagine Spartans are being sent out on the front line. So they probably just saved Chief and thought, shit, we need him to fight for humanity, you know.
Oh, cool. So that means then that Chief wasn't in cryosleep at the start of CE for that long then?
I hope. I'd imagine not, to be honest. I'd imagine that he was about doing stuff beforehand. But yeah, that's a really cool mission, to be honest. Though the one where you go on the Halo ring at first, there's just so many wide open spaces. I think Jackal's come into that mission as well. They're an interesting enemy with their shields. I'm pretty sure they do. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they do. I don't remember that mission just being grunts and elites.
Isn't that isn't the second mission? Doesn't it start with the ship crashing on the
the escape pod crashed,
and then Chief's the only survivor, isn't he?
Yeah, sadly, all the other Marines died, which
that's that sort of sets the tone in a sense as well, and the music is sort of atmospheric and ominous as well, isn't it? So there's that sense of like, there is that sense of loneliness, and also, just not knowing what's ahead, I guess, because you're just there, and you've got this wide open space, you've got the Halo ring, and there's nothing about it, is there, until you encounter the enemies. So there's that uncertainty, I guess, which is cool.
Exactly. It's sort of just like you against the world, pretty much. It feels like, which makes the player feel like, shit, it's me in this game. It's just me against absolutely everyone else. But yeah, there's Truth and Reconciliation after that mission, which is like one of the snow missions, which sort of, if you don't pick your weapons right, it does become a very hard. Like, if you die at a certain point, you have to walk so far, and there's 2 wraiths, and it's like, God, hassle. But overall, it's an alright mission. What's the other bloody mission? Oh yeah, the Silent Cartographer. I absolutely love that one. That's a great mission. So much fun exploration in that one. With Halo C, the game just encourages you so much to explore, man. Oh, hold on. Sorry, so I got Truth and Reconciliation totally wrong. Sorry, Truth and Reconciliation is the one where you get. Oh no, that's a great mission. Yeah, where you go around in the Covenant ship. You start off on the ground, and then you get a sniper rifle. And then you go into the Covenant ship, and you take them down and beat the shit out of them, and rescue good old Captain Keyes.
Oh yes, and then that's when he talks to you and tells you what Halo is, isn't it?
Yeah. dope AF. Very cool. And then
Indeed.
after that, there's the silent cartographer where there's loads of exploration in that. You can drive out into sea for like 5 minutes straight and then eventually hit a barrier.
Oh, really? Didn't know
Yeah,
that.
which really encourages exploration. If
Yeah.
you watch some of Mint Blitz's clips, look at all the cool stuff he does in the original Halo game. Well, there's some stuff in Halo 2, but it's mostly Halo C and Halo 3 that he pulls his maddest moves off. And a fair amount in Halo Infinite as well. I don't think I've ever seen him pull anything mad off in Halo ODST 4, 5, or Reach. But yeah, the game is just so big and expansive. I know the vehicle controls a little bit weird in it. You're sliding all over the gaff. But I suppose if you have a friend on the turret, you'll be all right. If you have a marine, you're fucked because they're bloody useless in this game. They're absolutely hopeless. Another thing about the silent cartography is that you get introduced to the hunters and they haven't got any other enemies around them. It's just those two, and you just have to take them down. They're sort of just like big tanks. They do have weaknesses, like if you shoot them quite a bit with the sniper, they just die. Or if you get behind them and shoot them with the pistol loads, they just die. While in later games, they're more powerful. But yeah, good introduction to them. Overall, I just love the mission. There's a cutscene where you can actually... there's a weird glitch where if you're quick enough, you can actually kill an elite who's shown in a cutscene, and then instead of showing up with a sword later, he's actually dead when one of the doors shuts in this mission. So that's
Is that what we encountered in one of my streams or not? Or
yeah, one of the elites.
like...
Yeah, and
yeah,
I was like, no, we're
I
too late.
Yeah.
I couldn't kill him. No,
Yeah. And isn't are we talking about the silent cartographer now?
Yeah.
Is that the one? Yeah. So did you say is that the one where we're in the Covenant ship and?
Oh no, that's the one before Truth and
before?
Reconciliation.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, have you got any thoughts and feelings on that mission?
I mean, yeah, it's cool. Again, a good soundtrack. Yeah, different variety of enemies. I don't know what else to say about it really. What sort of area is it? Is it mainly outside that mission, or is it?
There's a little bit inside, yeah, but it's mostly going around killing the Covenant in a sort of island lot. You can actually drive around the whole map, which is pretty cool. You can drive around the whole island if you want, from what I remember.
Oh, so is that the mission where we were both in one of the? What was the vehicle called again? That one with
Warthog.
the turret. The Warthog. Is that the mission where we were both in the Warthog and we were trying to get through the? We were trying to get through that little gap.
Yeah, that was
we were
hilarious.
struggling.
Yeah.
Was that the mission?
That's the Badger, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose cool mission in that respect with like sort of the geology, like the landscape, and yeah, just being able to have a good laugh there as well. That was funny. Yeah, again, I guess just being able to use the Warthog again as well, just cool. Being able to just fight the Covenant and yeah, fun stuff. Really, I can't really think of much else to say about that one.
Fair enough. Yeah, I was going to say in Halo C, a good thing about it as well is that like there isn't really like any bullshit deaths like in later Halo games. You can just be one hit by an elite or sniped by a jackal or bloody some of the weird bullshit that happens in Halo 4 if you play on any difficulty. You can just get killed out of nowhere pretty much, which isn't really good. But on this game, you sort of get given time. Apart from like the rocket flood who just shoot you out of nowhere, with Halo C, you are given a lot of time to react, which is really cool to learn from your mistakes, And I also like how all the enemies work in Halo games in general. Really, you've got the elites who are there, then you've got the grunts who are like the cannon fodder. You've got the jackals who are a bit more tactical and hide behind their shields, and you have to pick the weapons that are best to use to kill them. You have not elites, but hunters as well who are like tanks. So the game spices it up and it forces you to play strategically. You probably think to yourself, like, shit, should I get a sniper for this and a pistol? Should I get a rocket launcher and a shotgun? Damn, what should I do against these enemies, you know?
Yeah, based off what you were saying about as well, how you can't really be killed out of nowhere in C compared to the later Halo games. It reminds me because of the Actman's review of Halo C, because I'm pretty sure you mentioned that, didn't he? I think, and about the audio cues, from the enemies, like you might hear
Oh,
them
yeah.
say
Totally
something,
forgot about the audio
or so
cues.
like they're nearby. Yeah, just the enemies just saying weird stuff and yeah, funny stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess, yeah, like you say, you've got to be strategic, but it's also, I guess, the gameplay is fair in that respect. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, that's, like I say, it's cool, really, and just adds to the enemies in that game and how I guess sort of clever they are as well. Like for a 2001 game, I know, of course it was remastered as well, and we played the anniversary edition, but I imagine they're still like that in the original 2001 game. So
Yeah.
mm.
I guess it's best not to go over every mission, but the next mission after that, the snow mission, that's pretty good fun. Can't remember what it's called off the top of my head. The first, oh wait, no, that was the one that I was thinking of where I was like, fuck, I've travelled so far and I keep getting killed, and the checkpoints are so annoying.
Yeah, that must be Assault on the Control Room, I think. I'm
Yeah,
just looking at it. Yeah.
cool. Like you can pilot a Banshee, but I can't really.
Mm.
I can remember some. Oh yeah, you rescue Marines and you go around in a tank as well. That's kind of cool.
Mm.
343 Guilty Spark. That's the flood mission, isn't it? The first ever flood mission. I'm pretty sure it is.
I don't know whether it is, or is it the one after the library? I don't know.
No, I think 343 Guilty Spark is the one where you get introduced into the flood for the
Is it?
first time. The library is when all the flood are coming at you, so it has to be Guilty Spark.
Okay.
Um,
Oh yeah, because it says, it's got the like the sort of the text here saying creep through a swamp to meet the only enemy the Covenant fear. So yeah, you're right. Yeah.
that's a good way to scare people, man. You think, shit, these big ass aliens, they're actually scared, man.
I know it was a good mission as well, and just having, I suppose, just starting with the swamp and then you just see the Covenant running away, don't you, through like the swamp,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah,
just sort of like,
yeah.
and it's sort of like, it's like, whoa, okay, so there's something they fear, so there's another enemy here, and just again more sort of good tension building and things like that.
Most definitely. But yeah, good horror element. Cool how you see all the footage on the marine camera.
That was a
And
highlight, I thought, of the game. Yeah, that could see.
And Chief's like, fuck. And then all the floods start coming in and attacking you. So that's a cool introduction to them. It's quite weird that Captain Keyes is in his Admiral outfit, like his, ship captain outfit. He hasn't got any marine armor on. And you're thinking, does this dude not have any fear at all? Like, what's wrong with him?
He probably just wears that 24/7.
Yeah, anything, weddings, funerals, job interviews. He's just always wearing that, even before he was a captain. That's how much of a job worth he is.
Yeah, I bet.
But yeah, that was a cool fun mission. The Marine going mad, saying, "Oh God, get away from me!" Pew pew pew, and you have to kill that Marine. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, you get that sort of first-person perspective, don't you, from the one Marine? I think. So that's cool. Yeah, like I say, it's so it's a cool cutscene, yeah, and especially cool for the time as well.
Definitely, and then you have to do 2 Betrayals keys and the more, which are all remakes of previous levels. However, you go in different locations that you haven't seen before in some of the levels, and you have to play them differently because the Flood are there, which are terrifying. They take over elites and Marines. It's quite mad how, like, a random enemy that just feeds off of other people, like, you're now having to fight your own comrades and basically your undead comrades and your undead enemies in this form of the blood to stop yourself from becoming like them, and it's just like damn crazy. And obviously Captain Keyes is becoming some big blob flood entity, and he's like, kill me, don't come, chief. And then you have to punch Captain Keyes as hard as possible in the face and pull out his flood brain or whatever, and there's a bit of goop, and chief goes like this and goes on the floor, the flood liquid, and that's quite sad to see him die. We don't really know what happens to Sergeant Johnson. Can I spoil the Halo C legendary ending yet?
I'm pretty sure I watched it, didn't I? I think
Oh,
you got me to react to it on
podcast.
He's just fighting a grunt, isn't he? Was it an elite?
Yeah, and then he says, "Hold me, baby," and then hugs
because it's about to, like, they're thinking, oh, they're both going to die, so I may as well make up.
Yeah,
it's weird, that is. But it's kind of like at the same time you think, how did he survive as well? Then how did he get off?
But it's really bizarre, isn't it?
Especially when you think, say, if you haven't seen that ending, you've got the normal ending where like Chief escapes, and then you're thinking that him and I guess Cortana are the only survivors. So it's kind of like a sort of a bleak ending, a bit of a cliffhanger, but it's setting the stage for something else.
Yeah, I mean, Bungie were just leaving it open. They could have ended it there if they wanted to, or they could have continued it, which I'm glad they continued it. It was a cool, fun, simple game simple in a brilliant way for 2001. I want to save the multiplayers for a different podcast. I'd rather just talk about the stories in this one. We can do the multiplayers when you got through like Halo Reach and 4, because they won't take up as much time as the campaign discussions. But yeah, I mean, what the hell was I even saying? My mind's gone. Oh yeah, no, I was going to say Sergeant Johnson's far too cool to kill off, man. You can't get rid of him. Some of his dialogue was legendary, man. That speech he gave at the start of the game in the Pillar of Autumn, how he's in some of the cutscenes. He's a typical sergeant, but he's got his own swagger and cool mannerisms, which just make him fun and banter.
But he's not one of these sergeants who, it comes across as he's not like one of these unlikable sergeants, though. One of these sort of like arsey ones.
Yeah, who's like, yes, 6 foot tall, I can't believe they stack shit that high!
Yeah, because you get those in some films, don't you?
Fuck you! Drop and give me 20! Show me your war face! Ah! That's a war face!
Yeah, like I say, you get those in some films, and but he's not like that, so you can so he's a likable character, and
yeah, but on the battlefield, sergeants aren't like that. It's specifically Marine sergeants who shout all the time because they're trying to make the Marines tough for the real battle. They're trying, because once the Marines pass training, they talk to them like normal, but in the build-up, they're absolutely horrible to them, man. One of my mates from America who became a Marine, he said it was just horrible. The sergeants having to go at you constantly and all this jazz. And there was someone who was guarding, and you're given this number, like when you like a guard number, and it's like 63217, then some other numbers. The sergeant said, "What's your number?" Then this geezer just went, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like this Russian like a Eastern European geezer who was there or something. And they're like, "What the hell? That's not your number. You've had months to memorize this. How have you forgot?" Just crazy, man. Just crazy. But yeah, they're doing that to harden people and harden the Marines and get them ready for the real deal.
Yeah.
I think you get very annoyed straight away at the sergeant, wouldn't you, Liam? You'd just be like, "Sir, yes, sir." No, and then you just leave. So, you get in trouble for desertion. So, yeah, that wouldn't be very good. So you would have failed. Not good, Liam. I'm going to have to kick you from the podcast. he failed. It's quite a shame. So there you go. No, but back to Halo 1. The library, people are a bit 50-50 on the library. I think it's all right, man. I think it's like a Mad COD zombie session where you've just got. Originally, I didn't like it, but I thought to myself, you've just got a million flood running at you. It's just like, decent mad fun. You get given the shotguns, you get given the heavy artillery to deal with it. It's just, I think it's all right overall.
Yeah, one of my favourite missions in the game, personally. Yeah.
Yeah, I get where you're from.
Yeah.
It's a little bit long-winded. We're going up 4 floors, and the rooms are quite repetitive. But it is what it is. It was done in 2001. What are you going to do? But yeah, overall amazing game. I give the campaign a 9 out of 10. Well, 90%.
I'll probably give it an 8.5 out of 10.
Yeah, fair enough. Now on to Halo 2. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Classic.
Yeah.
It expands the universe straight away. The first shot you see, you start off. Well, you don't start right where you left off because Chief's got new armor on and all of the UNSC have rolled up. But it can't be too. It's probably a few months after Halo 1. Chief's getting commemorated. They're like, yeah. Does commemorated mean celebrated? Because or does it mean like you've died and they're like celebrating you?
Let me just double check. I guess
show respect. Okay,
yeah,
I
think you could say that. Yeah, because it says more celebrate event or person by doing. So I guess you could say that.
But yeah, so they're celebrating him, respecting him. Sergeant Johnson survives. Woo! And they're all really chilling. We see Captain Keyes' daughter, Amanda Keyes, be a little bit sad and like, oh, my father's dead, which is quite a shame. My father's passed away. And we have Lord Hood, who's a good addition as well. And then you see the Covenant side of things and how they deal with shit. You get the 3 prophets, truth, mercy, regret. You get Tartarus, who's quite a gruff, angry person. And we got all of the brutes as well there, and they're like big apes, basically. They're like taller versions of the elites, more bulky, but they don't have their shields, so they're easier to kill in that aspect, unless you get close to them and they rip your head off. Scary mad beings. And you've got Arbiter being like, oh man, I failed, and they brand him with that hot burning thing, and he's like, rah, and then he's like, if they came to hear me beg, you'll be disappointed. Just a lot of brilliant fun dialogue in the game. First mission's decent fun. The zero gravity's great. There's far more weapons. There's dual wielding in this game, which is really cool. And like the first game, you start off in space and there's a bloody Star Wars.
Yeah, again. I love that.
Yeah.
Although I will say though, again though, kind of like the first game, there's sort of a calm before the storm sequence as well. Like so you sort of, I think you're talking to, is it the quartermaster first, and you're talking to Sergeant Johnson, I think, and whoever, and it's sort of like there's a bit of that lasts a few minutes as well, and I think you move into a different area of the ship, and then I think the invasion happens, doesn't it? So
no.
Yeah.
I will say one thing though, comparing Halo 2 to Halo 1, it is a shame how linear all the missions are. There's just not really much room to run around and do mad stuff apart from in the mission where you're flying around as the Arbiter when you have to kill that heretic, or what's that other mission? The final mission where you're flying around as the Arbiter protecting the Scarab. Apart from those, everything is just really tight and compact. But I suppose that's partly to do with the time constraints. That's partly to do with the fact that it was 2004.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, it is a bit of a shame, coming off Halo C, and the fact that was, well, the missions were sort of more, they were more wide open and more open world-esque. So yeah, that was a shame, and I guess as a result, the missions wouldn't take as long to complete because they're more straightforward, and you know where you're going. There isn't all this backtracking and everything, but
Yeah.
yeah,
I guess sometimes with Halo C, it could be a tiny bit hard to navigate, and you don't know where you're supposed to go for the mission.
yeah, because he
So,
doesn't hold your hand there. I suppose like CE doesn't really hold your hand, I guess, for some things, or at least the navigation. Yeah, like a fair amount of older games, though. To be fair, compared to more modern ones.
you've also got the cheeky buggers in there as well, the flying little
The buggers, yeah,
classic, can't beat it.
yeah.
You've also got jetpack elites as well. What I really like as well, the fuel rod and the energy sword. You're thinking, man, weren't those weapons dead cool in Halo 1? And now you can actually pick them up and use them. The sword has insane range in Halo 2. You can be like halfway across the map and you'll still be able to kill someone. It's just insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, what other enemies? Oh yeah, obviously the brutes. I know. I forgot to mention Sentinels in Halo 1. Yeah, they're also in Halo 2. Guilty Spot comes back in Halo 2 as well, but he has far more smaller role. It's sort of like he's actually trying to help instead of destroy the universe. I also like the inclusion of Gravemind. He has sort of access to everyone's not daft, everyone's opinions and thoughts of everyone who's like become a flood, and he's controlling them like a puppet. Because if it wasn't for him, the flood would just be the generic zombies, wouldn't they? But with him, with the inclusion of him, he's the real deal.
Well, yeah, in the game, yeah, we get introduced to like the leader of the main threat, the Covenant, and yeah, the leader of the Flood, yeah, the Gravemind. So that's cool, and just the fact that the Covenant is just has a lot more to it in this game. Yeah, there's so much more added to it, backstory and all the lore with the terminals in Anniversary and the Prophets, who are interesting characters and also very sort of cold and sadistic. And yeah, like I say, again, the stuff with Gravemind was very interesting too, because you're thinking you can't fully trust him, but
you sort of have to, otherwise he's gonna. Well, it doesn't look like that he can actually kill you, really, because he can grab you with his tentacles and all that jazz. Because it's pretty crazy how he saved Master Chief's life.
Yeah, I was going to say, actually, I was thinking about this, but interestingly, yeah, both Chief and Arbiter could have died, couldn't they? And you could say the Gravemind saved them and brought them together. As fate would have it. So
it was pretty cool as well how Arbiter came face to face with Chief, and he was just like demon, because he's the reason why he's become an Arbiter and got that burn mark and poo-pooed by the Covenant.
That's true.
I really wish the Shipmaster's a really cool character, but I really wish that Heretic was in the game more. He was a pretty good character. It's just sad that he sort of Arbiter had paused for a bit of time, and then the Heretic just started shooting him like a buffoon. So I guess instead of a good guy, maybe the Heretic was just a bit of a madman who knew the truth, but he just probably thought, oh, Arbiter's brainwashed. He's never going to change, so I need to kill him.
Maybe I thought that was a bit odd the way he acted there, but when he just started shooting, but I don't know. It was just an excuse for the boss fight as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, I know. Your first experience of the boss fight, I just killed him straight away.
Yeah.
So you were just like, "What happened? That was the boss fight." And I was like, but basically, what actually happened was, I thought, all right, I've clearly killed one of his clones. I couldn't have killed him straight away. But instead of killing his clone, I actually did just kill him straight away.
So he got
which was
lucky.
pretty impressive, because he was like, I just heard, and I just heard, oh. And then I was like, fuck, I've actually killed him. How did that happen? That's a masterful speedrun right there, but pretty shit for your
crazy how quick that
experience.
But at least because I've replayed the campaign, I did get to experience that boss fight, and that took a fair bit longer. So, and I was able to sort of see it in more detail, really. So that was cool.
Yeah. But yeah, I know you mentioned the prophets being cold. Obviously, the prophet of truth, he just lets no, sorry, I always get the prophets' names
Yeah,
mixed
I'm
up,
pretty
man.
sure Truth is the main one. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's like, well, he's probably the coldest of them all.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm guessing you were gonna say that he let the prophet of
Mercy, that's it. Yeah,
prophet of
it's quite.
mercy get killed by the flood.
I know. Yeah, it's mad.
Yeah,
His old friend, he just says to the brute, "No, don't pull the flood off of his neck." Um, Giving him a brutal death. The great journey comes for us all. Just leave it. Oh yeah, but still protect me, but just leave it. The great journey comes for us all. And I just
yeah,
think, damn, that is so cold. His longtime friend, mentor, is just like he just doesn't care. I mean, what a cold bastard, man.
yeah. I
And
know.
but makes him a very good villain. Makes you really hate him.
Hmm. Yeah. At the same time, now you mentioned Tartarus, and he's just another good sort of fun villain, I suppose, and he just offers a bit of good humor here and there as well, and makes me think of that cutscene with with the brutes, and they're coming back from that mission, aren't they? And I think they're walking past the honor guards. Is it? I can't remember. On
They
the way
could
to the
use the
prophets.
meat. Is that this?
Um, doesn't he say? Yeah, or didn't he say fresh off the teat or something? Um,
Yeah.
yeah. And he says my belly aches. But I was thinking of the moment where I don't know if it was Tartarus who did it, but it might have been Tartarus, but yeah, him or a brute takes one of the staffs off the guard, and then is it a staff or is it the shield, and then he turns around and whacks the other one in the face with it, doesn't he? That was hilarious as well.
Nah, classic.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, overall, I'd say what would a weakness with Halo 2 be? I can't think of any weaknesses, to be honest. I suppose some of the missions are kind of short. The Regret boss fight's really weird. You can pretty much just run up to Regret and start punching him. But the boss fights are far more interesting than anything else in the trilogy, boss fight wise. You have in Halo 3, there's only like one boss fight, and that's Guilty Spark. I guess you can sort of count the Bruce Chieftains as mini bosses, but it's not like a proper enemy stand. And I guess the Scarabs are sort of bosses as well. But I find the boss fights in Halo 2, the first boss fight with the Heretic and the final boss fight with Tartarus, really enjoyable. Just the Regret one was really weird. I
I have to
really
admit,
love how.
sorry, I was going to say, do you remember when I replayed the campaign? Did take me a fair bit to defeat the Prophet of Regret, but
Really?
I guess it was just with all the enemies about, and then you're
Oh.
trying to get to him because isn't he moving about as well? I don't know, in his
Yeah,
chair,
he's
and he's
hovering on the
shooting the
chair.
lasers and everything. So I remember that taking a little while to do, but I guess if you know what you're doing, I guess if you've got experience, so that it's probably not too hard.
Yeah.
Maybe,
Maybe it's just because I'm so used to it. I don't know.
maybe, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm really trying to think of some negative points of the campaign, man. I can't. I guess the ending is just sort of like, sir, finishing this fight, then it's game over. There was actually meant to be more missions and there was good content, but again, I feel like it had a good amount of missions. We see both sides. We get to play as Arbiter and Chief. Arbiter is probably like the most interesting character in the whole of Halo. How he had his honor stripped and everything was ruined for him, and then he realizes shit. The prophets were feeding us a bunch of wolf tickets, and then he turns good, and he just seems like the most interesting, conflicted character there. To be honest, out of everyone in Halo.
Yeah, that's part of just what makes Halo 2 so great as well. Yeah, just like I say, the Arbiter, just being able to play as him as well, and
Yeah, he goes on such a
yeah,
great journey.
he does, yeah, and then ends up having a change of heart. So
Yeah,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I was just going to say quickly as well. I think it shows that if you get fed a load of lies by high up people, you can't take basically you can't take the prophet of regrets and truths and mercies word for everything. You know, the Covenant. You know, they shouldn't just take these high up people's word for absolutely everything and pass it off as fact when they're saying absolute madness. You know, like, yeah, we'll just launch these rings and blow everything up. And Arbiter realised, shit, all this stuff I believed my whole life was wrong. I can admit that I'm wrong, but like Tartarus, he's too far gone, and he's more bothered about proving that the brutes are better than the elites than everything else, really. So he makes
even
his
when
choice.
even when the arbiter's talking to him, trying to talk sense into him, he's sort of, I think it makes him stop for a moment to think, but then he's just, I guess he just doesn't want to believe it, and he wants to, like you say, he just wants to. He's more bothered about the brutes being better than the elites, and yeah, he's just not bothered about that, I guess. I don't know, and he's yeah, maybe he was too far gone too.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, overall, I'd say Halo 2 is a 10 out of 10 campaign. Love it. Brilliant. Or maybe 9.5, I'm not sure. 9.9, 9.8. It's a difficult one, really. I guess no campaign is perfect. You can argue, oh, well, you can get through it quite quickly. It's quite linear. There are some big battles here and there. The chaos, how everything just breaks down on High Charity with the elites fighting the Bruce is just so much fun. I'd probably say like a 98%, 9.8. Boom.
Yeah,
Isn't
it's my favourite campaign and my favourite soundtrack out of the original trilogy. And yeah, I think the soundtrack is something else. As well as, of course, the anniversary cutscenes. They're something special. I think, I don't know. I'll probably give it a 9 out of 10. I think.
Fair enough. Now on to Halo, Halo 3, Halo 3, Halo 3. Classic, love it, amazing. A million out of 10. End of the podcast. See you, everyone. But yeah, on a serious note, Halo 3 starts off exactly where we last left off, with Chief jumping out of that ship and Cortana, fleshing out their relationship, being like, you know, Chief, I could have chose any Spartan. I could have chose anyone. But you know something? I chose you. The other Spartans are strong and cool and all this jazz, but you had something they didn't. Look. Obviously, the real reason is because, I don't know, she just took to Chief, probably thought he was a cool guy. Maybe she thought all the other Spartans were Ponzi and thought, oh, he's cool, you know, let's choose him.
Yeah, but yeah, it was a good start to the story as well. That opening cutscene, and
yeah, you think he's dead at first, sort of, and then Johnson's like, Johnson's like, well, we're not leaving him here, and then Chief says, no, you're not, and then he gets,
and then the music
like,
sort of like just as well.
Yeah. And he's like, you crazy bastard. And then Chief's like, out the way! And then puts his gun at Arbiter.
Oh, yeah.
And then Arbiter's like this. And then Chief takes his gun away and he goes, Hurr! Then he goes, words so easy. I mean, legendary. Just so much masculinity booming everywhere. Not shit toxic masculinity, just pure brilliance and testosterone. Just love it.
Yeah. And then also it sort of surprised me that the Arbiter's a fair bit taller than Chief as well. Because of course you don't actually see them standing next to each other in Halo 2. So
yeah, the Arbiter's about, I think, 7'5" or something, and the Chief's like 6'10". So same height as you, Liam. So
imagine.
But yeah, starts off pretty cool. You do the old looking up and down at the light, all that crap. Then you set off with the Marines and Johnson and all that jazz. You can, things can unfold in front of you, like you've got a brute, strangling a Marine. If you let that brute strangle that Marine, he just dies. Well, not strangle it. He strangles him and then he punches him and he's dead. or you can actually shoot the brute. The marine escapes, and then he tells you, "Shit, yeah, the brutes took over, man. They beat the shit out of everyone." And then obviously Sergeant Johnson gets captured somehow. I don't know why he moved away from the gang. That was quite odd. And then you have to go down and rescue him and take on a load of Covenant, which is cool. Second mission, Prophet's like Prophet of Truth is like, I'll kill you all, because he has a different voice actor change. I know you like the new voice actor, but personally, I just, when you've established something in the previous game, it's like, I don't know, it's like Darth Vader being the way he is in A New Hope, and then he starts going, "How dare you!" You know, it just sort of comes across as a bit goofy. Obviously, Darth Vader stays the same, which is cool. And I know they can't help the voice actor being changed, but it just sort of made him come across as a bit of a crazy man-child instead of like a serious, cold, calculated guy. You know?
I do prefer the voice actor from Halo 2, but I just thought, I don't know, I just liked that scene, you know, when they're in the base, the underground base or whatever, I don't know.
No.
And then he just interrupts their conversation with Lord Hood and the music, and there's just, it's sort of like I don't know, like it's very atmospheric and threatening, isn't it? You know, with the truth speech, and so I thought, I know I quite liked that, but yeah, like I say, it's a shame the voice actor from 2 didn't come back.
Definitely,
yeah. So Truth did end up coming across differently in this one. You know, like I say, it wasn't as he wasn't sort of like sort of cold and calculated in a more sort of calm and subtle way. You know, unfortunately.
Yeah. So, obviously, we get some more missions. You know, you get the I can't remember what the next mission's called, but it's when the underground base blows up at the end. A lot of fun. The buggers show up again. Loads of different, like in Halo 1 and 2, especially Halo 1, a lot of the areas do look the same. In Halo 2, less so, but a little bit. Halo 3, it feels like there's just a new area in a lot of rooms, you know. And it sort of mixes Halo 1 and 2 together, because there's a lot of wide open areas, but there's also a lot of more linear areas, which is cool. The Scarab fights are brilliant, because the Scarabs are actually, they're not just stationary like they were in Halo 2, they're actually like, and you can either jump on top of one and blow it, well, you can either somehow get on top of one and blow it from the inside, like if you're somehow flying a Banshee, or you can shoot the legs loads and wait for it to crouch and then jump up onto it and then blow it from the inside. A lot of fun, barrel of laughs. In Halo 2 and 3, I was going to say as well, a really cool thing that spices up the gameplay in the campaign is how you can change weapons with the Marines. There's so many times I've like got a BR and I think, all right, I know what enemies are in this next room. Or give the Marine a rocket launcher, give this Marine a sniper, give this Marine a shotgun, because Marines have infinite ammo. And then they'll be able to just go forward and take on the Covenant easier. Especially I think that's a really good strategy for like a legendary campaign run, just because the Marines will be armed to the teeth, and worst case scenario they get killed, you get some more ammo, or you can pick that weapon up after they've used it. Best case scenario, they've killed quite a bit of the Covenant for you. So yeah,
it is cool that you can do that, and again, I just like how there's more new weapons as well, like with Halo 2. You know, you've got the gravity hammer. Oh god, I loved using that. Because it's so powerful. And again, I think it's just the changes made here and there with the gameplay and the combat, which were good as well. They were a nice touch.
Yeah. I mean, in Halo 1, you sort of felt like a bit weighed down with Master Chief. You sort of could jump really high and land. You sort of felt like you were sort of dealing with zero gravity all the time. Well, in this game, it's sort of like, there is still quite high jumps, don't get me wrong, but it's just a lot more, it just feels like a lot more quick and balanced, and you can get around and move easier, and strafing's a lot more apparent in Halo 2 and 3, but that's obviously more for a multiplayer discussion. But yeah, it's really cool nonetheless. But yeah, that Tavos Highway mission's quite a lot of fun. That's good balance, a lot of wide open areas, vehicle combat. The Covenant and the Ark are great. The Covenant, I know I've said about how it's the best mission ever, and I still think it is. You know, it has a brilliant wombo combo of just everything in it. You have, gun combat, gunplay. You go around in vehicles with the Marines in wide open areas. You have small corridor areas. You go up lifts and take on bloody flood brutes. Obviously, there isn't any taking on elites in Halo 3 because they're all on your side, but you take on grunts and jackals still, and hunters. I'm glad that all those enemies aren't on your side, because it would have been a bit boring to just fight the brutes all the time. I know at the end of Halo 2 they're on your side, but I'm glad they switched sides in Halo 3, because it just would have been dead arse to bloody fight brutes and the flood. It wouldn't have been as much fun. And there's obviously Scarab combat as well, which is great laugh. So yeah, just that mission just has it all in my opinion. And the flood join your side at the end. Amanda Keys dies, which is sad. Gravemind comes up and has his tentacles in the cutscene, but then nothing really comes of it. You just sort of have a cool shot of Chief and Arbiter and then fight the same old flood you fought before. Which I guess it would have been hard to have a tentacle boss fight, but I don't know, I would have liked it a bit if you just sort of shot the tentacles and the tentacles try to attack you and then you have to run off. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, because they were trying to escape in that ship, weren't they? Or
yeah,
whatever.
and the tentacles just went.
And then,
and
yeah.
grabbed it.
And then, like you say, we get the iconic shot of them together back to back.
Exactly.
And of course, they kill Truth, which is, he gets what he deserves.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's unfortunate that Amanda Keys dies as well. But yeah, it didn't last long, did it? The Flood and Gravemind teaming up. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was all.
Hold on, bear with me 1 second. Right, yeah, I'm back. What's good? What the hell were we even saying?
I was just talking about. I was just talking about the Chief and Arbiter shot and that cool shot, and the Floods just sort of helping out briefly, but then you just see that Gravemind betrayed them too. So, like Arbiter said, or something. He just basically said, one. He said something like one enemy after the other, or something along those lines. So yeah, and of course, we couldn't 100% trust Gravemind, and we were right not to completely trust the character. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He turned on everyone, but it was quite fun fighting the Flood. Then obviously we had the that mission where you go into the High Charity and rescue Cortana, and you're like, oh man, no fun.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It just felt like it was just a million Floods coming at you and all this jazz, and Cortana and Gravemind interrupting you and slowing everything down. I know Cortana does that in the mission, but it's just a bit annoying, a bit of a piss take.
Yeah, that is probably one of the downsides with this game. Yeah, is just the amount of time that. I don't mind it so much, I'd say, with Cortana throughout the game, but then you get it, like I say, numerous times with Gravemind, and it just gets a bit ridiculous,
Yeah, definitely.
Unfortunately, because it slows you down as well.
Oh wait, Aaron, was this a yes, no, maybe, or was this a yes, no, maybe? Sorry, what were you saying, Liam, before I interrupted you?
Now, like I say, I was just saying that I didn't like how, Gravemind, of course, keeps saying stuff as well, and that slows you down as well. but it's it just what makes it worse is that the fact that it slows you down as well. You can't just keep moving at the normal speed. So yeah, like I say, one of the main downsides of the campaign, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the final mission, the epic finale. Dun, dun, dun,
Mm-hmm.
dun, 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 dun. That warthog run is epic. The guilty spot boss fight is, and yeah, it's just a good way to conclude the bloody franchise. It's a shame Johnson dies, but yeah, everything's wrapped up nicely. The ending's cool. Chief floating in space, and that's that. That's the big caboodle. Boom. End of. Good night, tri-state area. But and what did you think of all that jazz then?
I thought the last mission was a nice callback to the first, to the final mission in the first game in CE. And yeah, I thought it was a real shame that Johnson died. To be fair, and I didn't really expect him to die either. But yeah, they killed him off too. And yeah, we had the guilty spot boss fight, which I don't remember that lasting that long. I don't know.
Yeah, it was pretty easy to kill him.
Yeah, I mean, maybe on my own it would have been different, but
Can you? Well, I ran around the map while you were trying to kill him. Could you read this, Liam? Come on, come on, come on, come on.
No, not happening.
Master Queef pooed on my pubes, all 6 hairs on my chinny chin, on my chin, my chin chin, my chinny chin chin. Oh wait, hold on, I'll read that again. Read it properly. Master Queef pooed on my pubes, all 6 hairs on my chinny chin chin. Master Queef pooed on my pubes, all 6 hairs on my chinny chin chin. Are you sure you don't want to read it, Liam? Not even for the bants. Come on.
No, I'm sure it's not something I'd say, not something I'd feel comfortable saying. So
I'll read it in your voice then, Liam. Master Queef pooed on my pubes, all 6 hairs on my chinny chin chin. My chin, my chin chin. There we go. So, yeah. Halo 3, I'd give it another. Well, I'll probably give it like a 9.7 out of 10, to be honest, a 97%.
Just want to say before later, another one of the great soundtrack. I'd probably still say the Halo 2 soundtrack is better in my opinion. Still my favourite out of the original trilogy, but still a great one. And again, I just like the sense of scale in this game as well, with all the battles and everything going on. But yeah, I'd probably give the campaign I'll probably give it like an 8.8 out of 10, I think.
What a disgraceful, disgraceful, wooing. Bellissimo. No, fair enough, yeah, it's each to their own.
Yeah, because like I said in my stream, it's a great campaign, but I still think Halo 2 is the best. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I think having played Halo 2 Anniversary, it benefits from those. I think it just benefits from those Blur Studios cutscenes as well. So
definitely, yeah, that improves the game, as you said in your remaster.
Yeah,
I mean, in your remaster video, not your actual game remaster, you somehow pulled off yourself. That would have been pretty bizarre.
Yeah, but yeah, it'd be great to see Blur cutscenes in Halo 3. Yeah, see them recreated like that.
Definitely. But yeah, on to a segment we haven't done in about 20 billion years. Face the Space.
Yeah.
And we'll finish off with a job, Slobs, and then we'll just leave it there. Wait, what? Not now. I need an account. Oh, what? I thought I...
Oh, has it changed then? You got to have an account now.
Hold on. Can I just play it? Oh. Hold on. Does this? Oh, what? Oh. Well, never mind. It's not meant to be. I can't be asked to.
Oh
I
well.
tried. Force my ass. I mean, face my ass. Oh dear.
Yeah, that's what the website said to us.
Yeah, basically. I guess
They're
we'll
telling us.
save that for another time then, or never. I don't know. Anyway, let's do a bit of job slobs. And have you got a job slob or not?
No, I've got nothing. No.
Okay, fair enough. So would you rather be a Twitch streamer, or would you rather be like some big video editor for like a big group channel? That's quite a good one. Like a video editor for like Machinima or Rooster Teeth or the Yogscast, or like, I know Rooster Teeth isn't that big anymore, and Machinima was obviously deleted years ago. Or a Twitch streamer. I was tempted to do Twitch or YouTube, but I just thought, that's a bit of a generic one. And it's quite that one would have been such an easy answer, because with YouTube, it's like, well, you can just do so much different stuff. So you're going to go for a YouTuber rather than a Twitch streamer.
That is a good one now, because I don't know. It's a difficult one because it'd be good to do both, but having to choose between the two. I guess I'd go for the video editing one.
What made you pick that one?
I guess just because because I like video editing, and
I mean, this is a ridiculous one, Aaron, but we'll get to that in a second.
Yeah, I think, like I say, just because I like video editing, and I guess it'd be something quite different if it was a big YouTube channel. I guess different types of content and editing. I suppose, rather than as good as Twitch streaming is, I guess with that it's just I mean, sure, you're playing games and you're reacting to them, and your fans or people who are watching get to see that, and get enjoyment out of that, and you get to interact with people in the chat. But I guess it's just the variety, I suppose, of the video editing one, doing it on a big channel. More variety, I suppose, I guess, in a sense.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I'll probably go for the Twitch stream myself, just because like a big company is going to push you to the absolute limit and really get on to you, and you're sort of your own boss as a Twitch streamer. You can just stream what games you want, and you can potentially get loads of donations. So, but this is a ridiculous one, Aaron. Would you rather be Edward Norton, Modern Era, or Mel Gibson, 5 seconds just after saying something racist on a movie set? I'll go for Edward Norton any day of the week. I mean, why would you want to be Mel Gibson 5 seconds after saying something outlandish and horrible? What would you go for, Liam?
Guess it would have to be Edward Norton, Modern Era.
Yeah, because that isn't really much of a hard question, because the only really negative connotation with Edward Norton is that he just doesn't, he bloody wants to change everything about a script and take over the film, and then it ends up being dog shit. I'd be YouTube / yeah, fair enough. Come on! Okay. Well, there you have it, folks. The Halo Trilogy review. And what's so funny? What?
I don't know, was he laughing at your impression then? I don't know.
What happened? Anyway, I guess we can nicely wrap up there. Any final words from the Liam?
No, nothing.
Fair enough. We'll end that one there then. Thank you all so much for watching. Check out the gaming channel. Check out the Halo 3 remaster. 60 views. Let's get it to 60 million views.
Come on. Let's do it.
Yeah. Good pod, MIO. Thank you very much, Aaron. But yeah.
I've enjoyed it.
Pardon me. We'll see you in the next one then. Have a good one. See ya. Later.